Welcome to episode 37 of the Voices of Boyle podcast. Today we have two very, very special guests. I've been dying to get this pair onto the podcast since the day we started. Lesley and Denise have been friends since they were toddlers, and they've grown up together, they've went to school together, and now they're still the best of friends in adulthood. And this pair will just give you that belly laugh that we all need every once in a while. So without further ado, here is my chat with Les and Denise. Welcome to the Voices of Boyle, Les and Fizz.
Thanks, Fleur.
Thanks, Fleur.
Great to have you.
Thanks for asking us.
Very welcome. Well, when I said to a few people that you were going to come out this evening for a cup of tea and a chat, and they were like, I'll definitely listen to them too. They should have their own show.
I think only when we've had the few drinks,
Yeah.
really.
Oh, Becca, we should replace the tea with something else. Well, either way, it's great to have you.
Thanks,
And
Fleur.
we're going to go back on some of the old memories. I'll test your memory now and see what you can remember. So this morning I thought we'll go right back to primary school and some of the memories from going to Squelin and Anglanifa. So let's start with, I suppose, I'm just going to say some random things and you can just say what you think or do you remember it. So the first thing I thought of was the milk trays in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
So
In the basin.
in the basin. The basin.
On the wall,
Did
wasn't
we
it?
have
Yeah.
to pay for them or no? Because I can't remember.
Oh, you did, Denise.
Yeah, you did. What are you laughing at? Are you with you? Had to pay them?
Yeah. I don't know what it was. I don't know how much it was or was it, but you did have to.
Yeah.
And then if somebody was missing,
Strawberry.
the strawberry milk, if somebody was missing, then their milk was given out to somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
remember
if you remember, they were ice cold as well. I loved the strawberry milk.
Yeah, the strawberry one is the one I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'd hear them been left out. Was it at break time around 11 o'clock? You'd hear them been dropped outside the door. Or were they left inside the door?
No, they were inside one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a
They're
grey
not
little-
left in the little basins.
In the grey little
In
basin.
the grey basin outside.
Mm.
I thought
On the
it was
wall, I
inside. Now
thought it
we
was.
all have different memories of the
Yeah,
milk.
well, you're in a different class than me now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you remember what's her name? Remember we used to be all waiting for her to come knocking on the door
Mrs. Flynn, was it? Yeah.
for the soup.
Oh,
Yeah.
for the soup. Yes, yeah.
I actually had
Remember.
her, written down as well. Wasn't she brilliant, Mrs.
Oh,
She
Flynn?
was.
Stop.
And when you'd be sent down to the kitchen then, if you
And
had
the smell
like...
going down the hallway
you
with
could smell
the soup.
Yeah.
You'd be waiting in the classroom. Oh, it's nearly time now. She's going to come knocking.
I
Yeah.
hope I get called
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, who's going to be called for the soup?
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. And it was the nicest soup ever.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think it was just such a novelty because obviously for your normal lunch, well, for me anyway, it was like jam sandwiches or
Oh,
if
yes.
you're lucky,
Oh,
ham
yeah.
sandwiches. So to get something warm.
Yeah. It was a
You used to
bonus.
get brought, well, I remember, I don't know about you. You used to get brought up to the nuns' convent. Did any of you ever go up? I used to throw my lunch in the bin to get
Oh,
going up.
Denise, that's terrible.
So I'd be brought up. I did.
Oh, God, I remembered that actually.
I
Yeah.
never went up.
I don't remember being there, but I don't remember being there, but I remember now that you say it, some people been going up to the convent.
Yeah. Wasn't that my mother didn't send in a lunch or anything?
Oh, it was that foul Denise put it in the bin.
I
Oh,
put it in
Denise,
the
you're
bin
shocking
and
poor
yeah,
Trish.
for the ham sandwiches.
Up in the convent, you got ham
You got ham
sandwiches.
sandwiches and you got an apple. It was a gin from the jam.
Denise, you were
Oh my
hacking
God.
the system. I didn't know now you'd get the ham sandwiches instead of the jam.
You see, I didn't tell everyone, Fleur.
Oh God, yeah, but the warmth of the kitchen even to go up for the soup. And Miss Flynn was always so lovely. It was like a home kitchen.
She
Yeah.
was like
Wasn't it?
a
Yeah.
mother.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
She was lovely.
She was lovely. And the teachers as well, like you'd have great fond memories back
Oh,
then of the
stop.
teachers.
Who had we? Oh, you weren't in my class, Fleur. Who had we? We had Miss Queenan, wasn't it? Una Queen.
Yeah, Miss Byrne.
Playing
Miss
the
Byrne.
accordion is what
Yeah.
we'd know Miss
Yeah.
Byrne for.
Yeah.
The
And
accordion.
the triangle things. What you call that?
Yeah, the triangles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else did we have? Sharon Hunt,
Yeah, Sharon Hunt
who's
was
still there.
Yeah, she was
Um,
lovely.
Sister Richard.
Sister
No,
Richard.
that wasn't Sister Richard in.
Or no, Sister Mary.
Sister
Yeah.
Mary.
Sister.
Oh,
So
Sister Richard was
back in
second.
our day, you had Miss McDermott Rowe in
Junior.
junior infants. Yeah. And then there was
Miss Tonroy.
yes.
She was senior.
Yeah, Mrs. Connolly. She
Yeah,
had some seniors
Oh,
as
yeah,
well.
she had as well.
Then you had Sister Mary up in the corner. She was second class though, wasn't she?
Was she?
And she'd say the prayers every morning. Remember you had to do the
I never
prayers.
had her for second now. I
Yeah.
had Miss Beirne for second.
Did you?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that was the first corridor. Then down the long corridor, yeah, you had Mrs. Byrne, you had
Sharon.
Miss Sheeran, Mrs. Hunt,
Miss McCran.
Mrs.
Miss
McCran,
Yeah. Miss Costello.
Miss
Oh,
Costello.
She was fifth, yeah.
yeah. And that was it then.
that was
wasn't
it. Yeah.
Who was the principal? Sister Mary.
Sister
Sister
Mary,
Mary
yeah.
Teresa. Yeah. And I remember going in the odd morning, you'd be very early, you know, you'd go around the back of the school because that's where everyone went in. And if Sister Mary Teresa was late, you'd see her coming over at the back. We'd be watching all the time. Is she coming? Is she coming? And she'd arrive with this big key. And you'd be delighted then to know oh God, you were the first one in the whole school that day. Yeah. Sister Mary Teresa was lovely as well.
She was
Yeah.
And remember the wardens? Were you on the
Yeah,
wardens?
my team was Thursdays. We actually won to get on to the.
Did you do the Ireland competition?
Yeah,
then?
no, we never won the All Ireland.
Ah.
But we got through to, I don't know where it was held, but it was a great day,
You
great
did the
experience.
competition,
out.
like.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
brilliant.
yeah. Thursday's team, I think we were.
No, we never got that far.
I still have the medal actually from the big
Taking
stop
part.
medal from doing it. Like, do you know, it was brilliant day out.
And who was in charge of that back then? Was it Mrs. Hunt or
Was it?
who was in charge? I think Miss Hunt was ahead of
Miss
us.
Hunt.
But I think different teachers kind of took charge different day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And can you remember, Les, what position you were in? Was it the
I can't
side
remember now, Flora.
Yeah.
I think it was the side. I know who was my team. Zara Byrne, Andrea McCran, Tracy Morris. There a few I can remember that was on the team with me. Like,
Because I think there was more. I think that was one of the positions, like them were, and she said most of the
yes, the cross the road.
Yes,
and, yeah.
she said all the big lines, and then there was the assistant were, and she was at the back, and I think she was the one that said left, left.
You have a great memory because I can't remember.
You're not on
I
the
remem-
team.
Oh, I was on the team, Lesley.
You obviously didn't care very much for your team
I
then,
was still half asleep.
You didn't take it very seriously, Fizz.
like me.
No, that's why we didn't get any competitions.
And then from the wardens, do you remember the excitement of the TV stand coming into the room on a Friday? Being rolled. Do you not remember that,
I do not
Fizz?
remember that.
Oh,
I vaguely remember it coming in, but everyone was so excited to see the telly coming in, like,
You
because
get
you
to
knew
watch
you
telly.
wouldn't be doing any
Oh,
work.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Remember.
I remember the teachers then would be like popping their heads in. Are you nearly finished? Or I'll drop it into you, Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I do. I don't think they do that nowadays.
Yeah. Well, they'll probably, God forgive me, they'll probably watch too much telly at home. They want to give
that's
them a
it.
break.
Yeah.
But, oh God, the magic of that, yeah, getting to know you'd watch a bit of telly and the lights would go off and the blinds would go down and sure, it was
Yeah.
brilliant. Yeah. I don't remember what we were
I
watching
think some
though.
of
but-
us fell asleep.
Yeah. Oh, you probably would with the heat of the
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
And then the games in the yard. Can you remember? I was trying to remember some of them this morning. What I wrote down was basketball, obviously.
Yeah,
North
we all-
basketball.
yeah.
And then I remember a game called The Big Ship Sails on the Alley.
I remember that.
And I think everyone had to hold hands or something and you had to make a train and one person had to have their hand up against the wall and the
everyone
trail had to go
under it.
in under the person's arm.
Yeah.
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 Do you remember that one?
I
remember
vaguely
that,
remember
yeah.
that one, but I remember the song.
Yeah.
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 What other ones
Sing it
was
there for
I
us,
wouldn't be
Denise.
We might do that at the end.
Yeah. What other ones was there?
We used to do the things with the hands.
Oh, underneath
Oh,
the
yeah.
Do you
banner.
remember? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't there another one? What was that one? Roy Rover.
I
Yeah.
think we used to play that up in Plunkett Avenue, though. Remember,
Yeah.
with all the lads. There was a load of us.
Yeah, you'd have to say, so there was 2 teams and you'd have to say 5 aside or whatever, and everyone would hold hands.
Someone would try and burst through your
Oh,
hands.
that was it.
And you'd
yeah.
have to call Roy Rover, we call Lesley
Yeah.
over. And then
And then if you
Lesley'd
didn't
have
get
to
through
run
and
through.
burst through.
Yeah.
But if you didn't get through,
You
you
get
stay on our
the
team
team.
then.
Yeah, to join the
Oh,
other
it was a
team.
brilliant times back
And if
then,
you got
wasn't it?
through, then you could go back to your own
Yeah.
team.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
we played that in school.
No,
Yeah,
that would have been too rough. For
probably actually too rough.
Yeah.
And another one I remember, but I can't. This is all the memory I have of it. Is like there was 2 teams, and you put all the jumpers or jackets in the middle of the 2 teams. And then one person from each team had to go over, and like you were circling around the jackets. And then when somebody said something, you had to grab the jacket and get back to your own team.
I know the one you're on about, but I
Yeah.
just can't think of the name.
I can't remember the name of it. That's all I can remember.
and
but
I can picture us actually now playing it, but I
Mm.
just can't think of the name of it.
I think that got a bit rough too, though, because you were kind of just dragging the other person
Yeah.
back. Maybe
Lawrence was going in all guns blazing, get out of my way.
maybe that's why I can't remember too much detail. Maybe we weren't allowed to play it at all.
There was a stop put to
Yeah,
it.
didn't last long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what time was it, Mr. Wolf?
Oh yeah.
Remember
do you
that one?
Yeah.
Mm,
I think they still play that though.
That,
you?
that's a good game,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah,
that's
because
a
I
good
see
game
my
for
little
them.
one playing that. No, there's definitely still play that.
Ah, does she, Denise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, her and her friends. Yeah.
Yeah. And what did you say then? It was like, oh, it's 3 o'clock. You take
Yeah.
3
what time is
steps,
it? Yeah, you take 3 steps.
and then it's dinner time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one person on as the wolf, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's the
And they have
wolf.
their back turned.
And they say, what time is it, Mr. Wolf? And
Yeah.
he'd say, it's 3 o'clock. And they go 3 steps forward.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That was a good one,
Good
actually.
times, yeah.
And then what else did I have down? Oh, some of the books. So I was thinking of the Anne and Barry's. Now, this was very early on. The Anne and Barry.
Your infants or something.
Yeah. And Busy at Maths was the maths book. I remembered that. And I wouldn't mind. I remember this and I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. And then Bun Gobor was
Oh,
one of the
yeah.
Irish ones.
Yeah.
And then Áthas was another Irish one. And if you remember, that was Nelly the Elephant, Reraw,
Oh, God.
Mickey was the monkey.
Now we know who was paying attention.
But I'll tell you, I'll show you afterwards the picture and I guarantee you it'll jog some memories. Yeah, I remember that.
The first one you mentioned, I could see the picture of it.
Anne and Barry.
Yeah, but I just can't remember doing it in school. I know I did, but now me and Irish are.
Yeah. But I'll show you afterwards and I'll attach it to the notes and the podcast. And I guarantee you, once you see it, you'll be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And even though I never got them, because again, you had to pay for these, was the little books that came in every year.
At Christmas, no?
Yeah, the Shiamsa and the notebooks. They were like
yeah.
big, thick books and they had puzzles in them.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, remember those? Was it Shiamsa and something else?
With the snow mountains on it. I can picture it right now.
Yeah. And it was like, who signed up
The
for this?
Christmas annual
It was-
thing.
yeah.
wasn't
Oh,
it?
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I remember those, but yeah.
It was all money back then.
Again,
And it's still all money now.
Yeah.
hasn't changed.
If that more.
And you get less. And then I just have down here the communion and confirmation. But I didn't really think about that. But I remember, Fizz, you were in my class for communion,
Yeah.
weren't you? Yeah. Did we have Mrs. Beirne for communion?
We had, yeah.
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 Remember the day after when you could
God,
come
sure.
in and you could wear your dress
Oh, your
in,
dress, yeah.
and everyone would wear their dress in and the lads would have their little suits on or whatever. The magic, walking
Oh,
to school
yeah.
with the dress on. and
You felt like a princess.
you
going in.
did, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that day actually.
They don't allow that though anymore.
Do they not? They don't do that anymore.
I'm trying to
Did they not
remember, and Kendra only
do
met
it
hers
there?
last year.
They went back to the school.
Yeah, but the
Oh,
next day.
Because I know when Sasha met hers through COVID, she wasn't even able to make it with the boys.
Oh, no way.
Sasha met hers the Saturday and the boys were the Sunday.
Oh.
And it was only myself and Aaron able to go. No grandparents, nothing. Like, so it
Oh,
was completely
stop
different
it.
for her. Like, you know,
And did she get to make it with all the other girls from the
all
class?
the other girls in the class.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
So she missed out, really.
She missed out, yeah.
Oh, there'll be a
Yeah.
big party for the confirmation
Oh,
then.
I tell you, well, she's off over to London to the cousins for it, like, you know, just
For a break. That's
yeah.
lovely. Oh, yeah, that would break your heart during COVID. They missed out on so much, you know. And you had all the events and things like that. They really did. Even just been away from their friends and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poor Sasha.
Yeah. Oh, no, she's grand now.
Yeah, she'll have a good confirmation.
She will, surely.
Because, it was the magic of wearing in the dress the next day, because you got a second outing in it, you know, and you could see everyone else's as well, and what the headpieces and the little bags.
Do you remember the plays we used to do?
Oh, they were brilliant, weren't they?
I
The
have a
Christmas
good memory
plays.
of that, but I don't think I can say it.
What, the nativity play?
Yeah.
Go on ahead.
Tabs and Colin, they were made angels.
No, Colin was
Or
Joseph
Tabs
and
was made
Helena
an
was
angel.
Mary.
Yeah.
Remember that, actually. Tabs was made an
Denise,
angel.
he cried
All you could see.
the whole time
Why?
because he was an angel.
Why did they make him an angel?
There's boys angels as well, you know.
Well, I know.
Oh, yeah,
But
cried. All you could see throughout the video. Do you remember that? The video playback, and all you could see was Tabs and
Tabs.
Tabs in
Yeah.
the background, bawling his heart out.
Yeah.
And all us girls just belting it out. Oh, I remember that.
Were you an angel then?
Oh, I was an angel, and
Yeah.
I still am, Flora.
I was a servant and I still am. Yeah, because there's actually pictures of that. I think it was in the Roscommon Herald afterwards or
Yeah,
something.
Mum
and it's in a
still
couple
has
of
it
the
at
book.
home, yeah.
Colin is Joseph.
Yeah,
and Helena
sorry, you're
Casey
right,
was
yeah.
Mary,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then in the background then there's me and Bernie at the front, two little servants.
Yeah.
With tea towels on her head or something. And then there was Karen Purcell, Kieran, Kieran, I can't remember his second name, and then 3 or 4 more.
Anya Cummins, wasn't she in our class?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Tabs, though. I remember
Oh,
that.
stop.
Yeah.
That's
And you
one.
had the foil wings. Remember the wings?
Oh, yeah.
And they had the little elastic and the
Yeah.
foil at the back, the tin
Yeah.
foil.
And then Sanchi had come after the play.
Yeah,
But it was magical back then because it was actually in the school,
Yeah.
in the hall.
exactly.
And then I think when they moved it to the church it kind of lost some
Yeah.
of the magic.
Yeah.
Because I remember afterwards as well, when it was finished, you go down to your class, you know, everyone would be sent down to their class and they'd have potatoes and
Treats.
little drinks
Yeah,
Yeah.
to
treats,
have.
yeah.
Yeah. They were great memories, the
Good
nativity
times,
plays.
yeah.
Oh, I loved it. I loved the lead up to it because you got out of class to practice.
To practice all the
Yeah.
hymns. And remember then the hot air balloons. I was just have this written down because before I pressed record, Les was telling me that this happened to Aaron as well. They came in one day and it must have been September because they always came around September, I think. And they were giving out these tickets to the kids to go up in the hot air balloons. And I never won anything before it or since. But I won a ticket on the day to go up in the hot air balloon. And it was like winning the lotto. I was like, oh my God, you're going to get up in these things. And we were all lined up outside. Aaron was probably
there
in
as
the
well,
same
yeah.
line as me. And next thing, it's too windy, we can't go up. Well, I'm still haunted by it. But then we got out and sure, you'd be watching them then from the yard. The other times that it actually did go ahead, you'd be watching them from the yard. Wasn't it just magical, the
Yeah.
hot air balloons?
Forest
glad I
Park
never
they took
went
off
up.
from, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, but when they used to come to the school, did they take off from school, Flora? They did blow them up in the school because I remember.
Yeah, I think they did. They used to in the yard, but
Yeah.
they'd be gone then. But I think only 1 or 2 of them did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the rest were out in the park. And you'd see them then, the Fanta. I remember the big Fanta like the
Why
Fanta
did they
can.
stop all that though? That went on for years.
It was something to do with, I think, insurance in the end or something like that. But they're actually doing it now up in, because I looked up last year, I was like, it'd be class to see them
Yeah.
in Burr Castle. They do it in
Okay.
September. But Boyle had it for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Used to had it.
Yeah. They were brilliant.
Oh.
It was brilliant looking at them.
Yeah.
Not getting up in them.
Standing at the ground. Oh, my dream is gone.
I never came back, miss. So I think, Smiley's mum, actually, I had just written down here, Smiley's mum, is it Etna?
Etna, yeah.
She used to come in with the mouthwash. I remember we'd all be told, the dentist is coming, the dentist
The
is
fear
coming.
of God would be in you.
And you'd be petrified.
Yeah.
And she'd go around with these little cups. Little plastic little cups, like a shot,
and the
like a
paint
shot
with the
glass.
bell of it.
Stuff in
Oh
it,
my
wasn't it?
God.
Yeah, and you'd have to spit it. You'd have to rinse your mouth and then spit it out.
Yeah.
And
And
then
the smell
after-
of it used to make me sick.
Mm,
Oh, I remember that.
mm.
And you're still getting sick today
I
from your
am.
shots.
From the shot
Yeah.
glasses.
Oh, stop.
And I think that's it with primary school girls. You have no other memories stand out that you can think of?
No, not really. Well, I do remember. Were you in my class for Sister? Was it Sister Mary we had in junior, senior, first class?
It could have been. I think there was 2 first classes, Denise. I think there was.
Remember, and the altar went on fire.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
In the school?
Yeah. Yeah, we were doing every morning. We used to do the prayers, and was it Sister Mary?
Sister Mary Cuddy was her name.
And she used to light the candle.
Mm.
And we were saying the prayers, and the next thing the altar went up in flames.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not funny, like.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing for?
Edit that.
That's staying in now. I remember the panic. I actually wasn't in the class. I think I was in Mrs. Beirne's class, but I remembered the panic.
Yeah.
The altar's on fire. The altar's on fire.
Stop.
Mm.
That was funny.
Good old days, Denise.
Oh, Fleur, if only I could go back.
And what's it like now? Because you have Kendra. How old is Kendra?
Kendra's 8, going on 9.
So she's in
She's
she
in
had
third
Squell and
class.
Anglenifa as
Yeah.
well. Yeah. And Sasha then, Les.
She's 6th class now, Fleur.
6th class. Oh my
Crazy.
God.
She's,
And have you another girl then, Denise? as
Sarah,
well?
yeah.
And what class is she in?
She's in first class.
That's gas. So they're living now the memories that
Yeah.
we're talking
Yeah.
about. Oh, shut
Well,
up, Florence.
imagine.
I don't think it's the same.
No.
I think times have
Definitely
changed
not.
since
Yeah.
we were at
Technology
school.
has kind of
Yeah.
taken over big time.
I
you
know. Do
It's
they
not the
still even
same.
have, the biscuit tins? Well, this was actually further on. So Sasha, probably Kendra, should be having them if they were living the same days as us. The biscuit tins. Remember, you'd bring in the USA baskets.
Yeah. No biscuit tins.
No,
Imagine.
Sasha doesn't need. They don't need that now.
No,
I
do you
don't
remember
think.
that? The biscuit tins for told your books.
And we'd have them covered in the wallpaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, the
And it
books
was
and all-
brilliant. Like,
The books and all were covered in wallpaper.
we didn't care. It was like that was the novelty
Oh,
back then, wasn't it?
And you'd have the big ones at the back, and then
Yeah.
get
So neatly
all
done,
the way
like,
down.
yeah.
Yeah.
And your little notebooks then at the front.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Laura, I remember that.
Yeah. That's gas though now that they're in primary school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you see a difference of when they're with them now compared to when we were in primary school.
Mm.
It's nothing the same. So now the schools are coming together.
That's right. Yeah.
like that.
So are they extending the girls' school then?
No,
The Squell and
so-
Anglenifa?
Now, from what I heard, I don't know how true it is, but say, for example, junior infants, say to first class or second class, will stay in the girls' school. And then from 3rd class to 6th, will go to the boys.
Oh, right.
I think now that's talk,
Yeah,
but you're no
don't really
email has come
know.
out or
Yeah.
anything, so
Yeah.
nobody knows.
I heard that actually. Well, that would be a big change because the boys' school was always a boys'
Always.
school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
But you see, they get hot dinners as well,
that's
whereas
right.
the girls don't.
That's right.
So when they do come together, I think it'll be the same for both, I think. I'm not sure. But sure, the uniform and all. We always had the brown uniform.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. The wine uniform.
The new
Or
uniform is
the
lovely.
wine.
now.
Wine,
Yeah, sorry,
yeah.
Florence.
And
the
what
wine.
are they wearing now? Light
Blue, dark
blue.
blue.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. That's all new this year, isn't
Oh,
it?
yeah, yeah. But they all have to be in it, I think, by when? 24, 25?
Yeah, I think so.
I liked the wine. It was the foil colours.
Yeah. Yeah. But sure now.
Yeah. All changed since our day, girls.
Oh, yeah.
Only feels like yesterday. So the next thing we're going to go on to now, and this will be really reeling in the years, is the crack we used to have up around Tarman and Plunkett Avenue.
Oh, yeah.
So we all used to obviously play together, and there'd be another great gang of Ashley and Zara and all the girls, Bernie.
Oh, God,
and
I can picture us all now.
yeah, great Tara. There was a mighty gang
There was
of
a
us.
mighty gang of us,
Helena
wasn't there?
Casey,
Helena,
Breda Flynn, Mairead
Mairead.
Hardy,
yeah,
Oh,
Rosie,
Jenny O'Rourke.
yeah,
Oh, imagine.
yeah.
God, there was a load, wasn't there?
Oh, there was a mighty gang of us.
Yeah.
And some of the memories I have is rounders, obviously.
Oh,
up
yeah.
in
Up in the Plunkett Avenue.
yeah, in the
field would
playground
be
at the back.
full.
Oh,
wouldn't it?
full.
Mm.
Rounders was brilliant.
Well, I think we played that nearly every day.
Yeah.
Without fail, you'd have the Tarmanites and the Plunkett Avenues
Yeah.
up there.
Who set it up, Denise? I don't remember.
I don't know who started it to begin with.
Because we had a bat and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we had a bat and the ball. And well, we were playing with the bat, and then remember we changed it to a tennis racket.
Mm.
Mm.
You could get a bit further with the racket and it was a
Yeah.
bit easier.
Oh, yeah, no, that was good crack. And
Yeah.
rugby, do you remember the rugby?
I remember
I
a
don't
short
think it lasted
stint.
too long.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, stop. Do you
That-
remember the rugby?
No,
Do you not?
I can't remember the rugby.
We used to do Tarman versus Plunkett Avenue, and then Churchview came in on it, and it used to be Churchview versus Tarman or Plunkett Avenue.
Mhm.
Do you remember that, Flor?
I do. With now that you said it, it does kind of ring a bell, the rugby.
Yeah.
But I can't remember now playing it itself. But I remember, I remember there was a short stint of it.
Yeah.
Should be only diving on top of each
So
other.
there's a lot of memories up that way, isn't there, really?
And then I remember Hares and Hounds. Now that was a mental game.
That
Yeah, it was
We used to
crazy.
go into town and everything playing it.
Yeah,
Because-
but the lads, I think, used to go in home and leave us out looking
Yes.
for hours.
Yes, they did, Les. And I remember, because for anyone that hasn't played Hares and Hounds, it was literally like, well, it was
Two
it
teams.
wasn't even tip the can.
No,
No,
it
it
wasn't.
was
Two
Yeah.
teams.
two teams. Someone was the Hares, someone was the Hound.
Yeah.
And the Hound was chasing the hare.
The hares had to go and hide.
Exactly.
Mm.
And the hounds had to find them.
Yeah.
Now, bear in mind, we had Tarman, Plunkett Avenue, the Lawn, and Town. That
Yeah.
was the area where
Yeah.
you could hide. Now, can you imagine that today, going round to all the different back gardens, sheds, all in town, trying to find people?
You wouldn't know where to look.
It went on for
Yeah.
hours.
Oh, yeah. We used to start, I'd say, without fail, we used to start at about,
As soon
Well,
as
we
we
used
get
to
in from
wait.
school,
Yeah,
do the homework, I think
and out we went.
we were out.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Well, we were made to go out, really.
Oh, the minute you were done, out you go.
Minute out,
And
you
don't
go.
come back till the
Till
lights,
the lights
come on.
are on.
And you better be back when the lights come on.
But you know what? Back then it was a lot safer.
Oh, and
Oh,
funner
yeah.
times, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Like, you
Yeah.
loved being out.
Oh, loved
Yeah.
it.
You go up Station Road, Tarman, Plunkett Avenue, you don't see no one out.
There's
Yeah.
not a child.
And I
Yeah.
always go on about it. Like I
Yeah.
always say, oh, isn't it shocking? Like,
Sometimes you wouldn't even think the kids lived up there now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
No.
never, I'd say our parents were buying us trainers every day of the week because we
Mm.
never left the road.
You'd never watch telly or you'd never. But it's sad, as you said, though, it was a lot safer back then.
It was,
like,
yeah.
you know, it's,
And there was less technology too.
yeah. So you had no reason to be in.
You weren't allowed to have a tablet or a phone
Yeah.
or anything.
There was none, actually. When,
Yeah.
know.
You'd be lucky to get to watch telly at the weekends or
Yeah.
that. Yeah. But I remember, I think it was your house, Fizz, and with the Hares and Hounds. And I remember one night, you were the last ones. I don't know who it was. I'd nearly think it was you,
I think
Les.
I know it.
Because the pair of you now would be messing. And we were like, because everyone, I suppose, when you found people, then they
were on your
they
team.
had to
Yeah.
be on your team, so they had to help you. So I couldn't find Fizz anyway. God, round for ages. And here she was inside the house in the sitting room. I remember going in the
I'd
back
well
door,
believe it.
eating a sandwich,
I remember that.
and us
actually.
out looking for
I
3 hours.
remember that.
And Fizz ain't getting her feed.
Stop, that was funny.
And it must have been about 10 o'clock at night because it was
Oh, I
you were the
remember that.
last one to be found. Because I think the rule was you weren't allowed to hide in the house, but Fizz walked around.
when you're hungry, Mar. Oh, I remember that.
Oh, I'd love to know who was with you. I'd say it was you, Les.
It could have been her.
Well, she wouldn't share her sandwich anyway.
Oh, great memories. And what else then out that area?
The
Oh,
NCF
the
then.
NCF.
Do you remember when they used to close at 6 o'clock and we'd jump
Jumping
over?
from bags to bags.
And it was so funny. One day the two of us were in there jumping over.
And Damien Dooley. I remember Damien Dooley was there.
Was he
There was
playing?
a few people. As soon as the gates shut, we'd jump over.
And
next of all, the sirens started going.
Stop. You didn't get locked
The
in
guards,
or something, did you?
the guards
The guards
came
were en route.
and we went running through the fields, Florence. It was so funny and it was so mucky.
We
And
ended up
she
coming
hid-
up at the train station, remember?
Yeah, you hid under a tree.
No, I stuck my head out.
You didn't. You were hiding under the bushes under the tree.
Oh, you stuck your head out.
And you were crying and shaking. And the guard didn't care, Florence. He got his shoes all muck. That's all he cared about. I'm full of muck. And she was bawling, crying.
Oh,
and I couldn't
stop.
console the laughing at her crying. It was so funny. Like, he didn't care. He was just telling us not to be in there. Like,
No,
He
but
thought she was getting arrested.
everyone went running different directions.
Denise,
Because I could still
under the
picture
tree.
it to this day. Everyone went running different directions, bar me, her, and Damien Dooley. We said we'll go towards the train station because there's no way they're going to be there. And lo and behold, one of them stuck their head out and the guard goes, "Come on out."
Oh, stop.
and his shoes full of muck.
Oh, stop.
And they gave us an escort back into town.
In the guard's
I
car.
thought, yeah.
And Denise bawling in the back.
Yeah, because I thought I was going to get in trouble.
And did he drop you home? No.
No, it dropped us at Londis. I remember getting
Oh.
out at Londis.
That wasn't
Yeah.
so bad.
No. I said, "Drop me out here, please, or my mother and father will pound me."
Oh, God.
Oh, stop.
She'd be petrified.
Yeah.
And then in at the back of the NCF as well, the round bowls. Do you remember
Yes.
them?
Oh, the wheat bit.
Yeah, the wheat
had
bits.
names
That was the
on them,
toughest
didn't we?
one.
Yeah.
If you could make it into that, you were away with it.
Yeah.
If it was wet then on a wet day, you'd never get out if you went in.
But some of them were awful hard to get out of.
Yeah. And do you remember, was it 40 Cuts that used to live?
Yeah.
Oh, do you remember him?
And the green lady.
And we used to
Yeah.
all be going home asking, could we bring food up to him?
I know.
Oh. Who was
Yeah.
it that started about the green lady?
Probably
Someone-
you.
No, definitely wasn't
Oh,
me.
you'd be petrified.
Yeah, someone said, remember there was 3 different rooms. They had just built onto NCF. Do you remember that? And there was 3 different
little-
rooms.
yeah.
And
that you
someone saw the green lady in there.
in there, yeah. And then you couldn't go in. Get out quick.
Else, the frog spawn or something, wasn't there?
Oh, yeah,
frog
there
spawn
was.
up there in the swamps.
there was in the swamps. I
Yeah.
remember that now that you say it, actually. How many was there?
I don't know. Was there 6
1, 2,
or something?
3. And then the Weetabix was 4.
4. But like we shouldn't have been in there at all.
No.
Oh, what were they for?
Actually, we
anyway?
had no fear or nothing back then. Like,
I actually asked someone that was on the podcast, I can't remember who, and we were talking about that, and I was like, what were they for? Because to us they were brilliant.
Yeah.
Like they were made for
Yeah.
us to play in.
Yeah.
But I think they were for grain or something that they used to put the feed into it or something like
Right.
that.
Oh.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, now that you say it, because there was a little hole at the bottom. Not a hole that you go down into, like, but
Small
there was
one.
Yeah.
yeah.
Those were the days.
Oh,
I can picture us all
imagine,
now.
wouldn't you love to just have video footage back in
Yeah.
the day
Back then,
of
yeah.
what you were at?
Oh, it was
Yeah.
brilliant.
And then swimming in Asselin.
Oh,
Well,
sure, we
that's
spent
where
our
we all
days out
learned.
there,
The
wasn't it?
railway children, they used to call us.
Yeah. Remember walking on the track sometimes and the train would be behind you.
Sure, we'd know what times the train would be.
Yeah.
You know, we were
And we used to put our
wise,
money
like,
down. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
and get the money
Get
flattened.
the train
Yeah.
to flatten it. Yeah. Oh, they were great. And then we ended up going out in the evening time having barbecues and all out there.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And who was it that was in swimming? And the Michelle McKillen it was. Remember? And the mink started chasing her down the
Stop,
river.
Denise.
What?
I
Yes.
remember that. I think it was Michelle McKillen, and the mink was coming behind her down the water.
No, I can't.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember someone telling me that it was Michelle McKillen.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But sure, what we done to go for a swim? Like.
I know.
And
But sure, it
filthy.
was good time. It wasn't. It was
No one
great
ever got
times.
hurt. No
No.
one, there was no
You know,
harm.
No, we used to jump in at the, what did we use to, the
The
third.
thirds
thirds.
and the seconds then, and the
Yeah.
baby area.
Yeah. Yeah.
Edlin.
And we'd bring our food out for the day, and I'm
Stop.
sure we had.
Yeah.
And you know what, like, when you think of it, we were let go.
Mm.
and not a care in the world if we went. You know what I mean?
Oh, but Mum used to go out with us as well, though. Like, you know, she taught us how to swim out there, you know.
Imagine, though, if you ask anyone from Termon or Plunkett Avenue Station Road, where did you learn to swim? That's Lynn.
Yeah.
And you'd fill the bottle with stones and water and throw it in, do you remember, and dive in for it.
That's right.
They were simple games, like we used to.
right.
Yeah, good times.
And it was packed.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. And we used to be raging. The more people then that start coming from other areas.
Remember, we used to say to the ones in Churchview, "This is our land.
Yeah.
What are you doing out here? This is our
land."
And then we used to go down to the floodgates, wasn't it?
Yeah, the floodgate.
Yeah. And then someone said there was a hole or something. Don't go over there. There's a hole that'll pull you down.
Yeah, because
And they'd
people
open
used
the
to jump
gates
off
then.
because it was real slippy, if you remember.
Yeah.
There was like moss.
Yeah.
People used to jump down and they were saying there was
where
a
the gate
swallowing
is.
hole.
Yeah.
But that was nice for the younger kids because I remember you'd have it was really shallow. So
Yeah.
you'd actually sit in and oh God, but it seemed like the summers were never ending back then. Like they'd be so long
We'd
and
so
hot.
much to do. Do you know what I mean? With so much and nothing to worry about either. Like.
No, like you'd have no memories of inside. It'd all be outside.
All be outside, yeah.
Yeah.
Marbles, playing
Marbles.
marbles,
Do you remember that?
playing curbs.
Yeah,
Do you know?
oh God, I remember the marbles. You were really good at marbles, Denise, weren't you?
I was cheating,
Yeah.
that's why.
I remember she was
She
always
was the boss of everyone with the
She
marbles,
was.
that one.
She was.
This is how you play now, and
Yeah.
this is what we'll do
We
now.
used to play outside people's houses.
Yeah.
Into the manhole
holes,
things,
yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then there was some holes that were better than others.
Yeah.
So you'd have to be
You'd
out.
have a bit of a flow on
To
them.
get the right, because the play everywhere would be full of kids. Like,
and you'd do a quick and you'd be like, oh, that one's taken, that one's taken.
I'm
Come
playing
on,
the winner then.
Yeah. What was the big ones called?
The American Thaws.
Oh, that was it.
Was it?
and the pearls.
And
Remember
the
the
pearls.
The pearls.
They were the best ones, I think, from the small ones.
Yeah, the pearls were worth like, was it 20 crystals or something?
like that,
Oh,
wasn't it?
stop
Like,
crap.
because the crystals were worth nothing really.
Yeah.
They weren't
They were the
good.
tinier ones.
Then you had the Thaws, yeah, and the
pearls.
pearls were the best.
They were the best.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but there was the big huge ones. What did we call
Yeah,
them?
that's what-
Where did the Thaws, Flor?
I think
think
so. I
it
think
was,
the
yeah.
Thaws was the big ones.
Oh, I think we were all fighting for them once.
And where did we buy them? Was it
Better
Christy?
Boys.
I
Was
think
it
Better Boys had them. Yeah,
Better Boys.
Oh, they were brilliant.
And they did do them, a few years ago. They were still doing them, but nobody was kind of out playing with them.
And you had your marble bag. Then you'd have them all. and
Oh,
you'd be
yeah.
rooting
Or
in the
your
bag.
your
little
pouch, your bum bag full of them.
Stop.
And you'd be like, then I'm down to my last one.
Let me win.
Oh, and you'd be like going home then with nothing in the bag.
Oh, stop.
Oh, we've spent hours playing
yeah.
marbles.
Yeah.
Remember there was a really good hole down further Tarman, round where Pauline O'Rourke lives, kind
Yeah,
of there.
I
There was a
remember
good
playing outside mine and Casey's, Pauline O'Rourke,
one.
and
Dan
there used to be
Walsh's.
another one.
We were playing up
across-
there.
But there was one across from Stan.
Around where John Dennety lived.
There was one there, and then there was one up
Where
at,
Jean McPherson lives.
Yeah,
That one we
there.
used to play in.
Oh, girls.
And you just lift it up and away you go.
Yeah.
And remember sometimes then the marbles that get stuck at the back. You'd have to try and get it round
Yes.
the
Oh,
front.
stop, girl.
And you only had one shot or something,
It
wasn't
might
it?
go, it might go.
Because there was none in Tarman. It was all
No,
Plunkett
all
Avenue,
Plunkett
wasn't
Avenue,
it?
yeah. But I think because Tarman was kind of too many cars were coming up and down
Yeah.
at the time.
And back then as well, I suppose, Joe Simon's wasn't even open in the
No.
early days.
Yeah.
So it was Camden's Field back then, or Camden's Warehouse.
Yeah.
So there wasn't as much traffic.
Yeah,
you
and
know.
you didn't have Tupper pouring then.
You didn't have Tubber Park. You didn't have those little houses now on the turn up to Plunkett Avenue. They weren't there. So it was really quiet.
Used to be, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it was much quieter than it is now.
Yeah.
And then, as well as the marbles, we used to play curbs.
Oh, stop.
Remember curbs?
Remember that?
That was great.
Mm.
You used to throw the ball and then you take a step, was it?
If you hit the curb, I
Yeah,
think it was.
try and
You
catch
caught
it.
the ball.
Yeah, and then the closer you get, the more you could get. And
Yeah.
I think when you got to 100, then you'd change sides or something.
Something what we
Yeah,
used
like
to
that.
think of when you think.
Yeah, they were brilliant. And then Plunkett Avenue, Tarman, oh God, we had such good crack at Halloween as well, didn't we?
Oh, stop.
all dressed up in black bags.
And we were happy out.
Yeah.
There was no costumes back then.
Into better price for the plastic mask,
Yeah.
and you'd be sweating going around.
And the
Yeah.
fake fingers.
fake-
and the teeth.
And the teeth. Oh,
The
girl.
big teeth and the fake
Remember
blood
that.
if you were lucky.
But you know, everyone was kind of dressed the same bar the mask. Everyone had a black bag on.
Yeah.
And it was better.
Yeah.
And
know.
there was no buckets for your sweets either.
No,
It was a bag.
Had our
plastic
big
bag.
bag. Yeah.
And you'd be going round and you'd try and get one. I remember if you got one bag full, you'd be back to the house and you'd be going
Empty
round.
now.
And you knew the houses that gave the best
Oh,
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I remember poor old Mrs. Flynn down Station Road. She always baked buns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she'd give you like a homemade little queen cake or
Yeah.
something. Oh, my God.
And
And
Kishy Shannon got, do you know,
yeah,
God love her, she used to give us 5p. She used to throw money into the bag.
she did not, did she?
Yeah. Yeah. And because
Lynn Regan used to give a big bag with loads of bars, sweets, and you know,
Oh.
she'd always have a
the
bag
way
full.
they're kind of done
Yeah.
now
Mm.
is the way she used to have them.
But back then that was so unusual.
Yeah.
Because you just, some
Yeah.
houses you got the apple or the orange.
Yeah,
the
and that was-
peanuts.
or the peanuts.
The monkey nuts.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you'd know the house to go to. You'd be
Yeah.
like, did you go there yet? Did you go there yet?
Yeah. Oh, stop.
Yeah. But people were so nice to us back then in terms of like they were genuinely just, even I remember we used to play cakes down the lawn. So we used to get, I don't know, did you ever play that? But we used to get slates from the rocks and we used to put sand on them and we decorate them as cakes. And we used to set up a shop
Yeah.
selling these cakes. But I remember one day, I think it was Mihal Rush Tasty was coming up from town, the back way, the lawn way. We were like, will you buy a cake from us? And I think he gave us £1 or something.
And that was a lot back then.
Oh my God. Sure, we were thinking he was joking like until he took it out of his pocket and gave us the £1. And straight down to Christy Wynn's then, I suppose, to get sweets. But like people were so good.
Yeah.
I suppose they were used to seeing kids out and about and, you know, they were so good to us.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see that nowadays, though.
Mm.
No, we used to love Tom Lloyd coming down, having the chats with us on the
Yeah.
bench. Do you remember that?
Tom
Poor
Lloyd.
Tom, yeah.
Yeah. And didn't he wear a hat, Lesley?
He did.
Yeah.
He did, yeah.
I saw a picture of him actually recently on, was it People and Places or
Oh,
that
right.
page?
No, I haven't
Yeah.
seen it yet.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And what else from up around there then, girls? Bonfire night was another one.
Well, that was down the lawn, wasn't
That was
it?
down the lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember there was a committee and they'd go
And we'd
round.
have our bag of sweets, wasn't it?
And they'd have a little table set
Yeah.
up and you could get your lemonade.
Wasn't that
and-
Jane Suffin that organised that?
Jane was in on that,
I
yeah.
think so, yeah.
And it was brilliant because everybody got the same thing. You got
Yeah.
your sweets and it gathered people down there
Yeah.
and you were down there then all night. I have a vague memory of, I think Richard Connolly next door. He wanted to send down tyres or something. But anyway, whatever was to be had was the lads used to just get it and just
Throw it in.
throw it down. And it'd
I
come
think
down.
some of the furniture and all used to go in.
Yeah, and it had all
Oh, it
come
was
down.
brilliant.
It was brilliant. And then there'd be a competition to see who had the biggest bonfire between
Yes.
Yeah.
Churchview and
Forest View, all
and-
the, yeah.
yeah.
And then they stopped doing it in Termon, didn't they? The nearest one then was Mockmoyne. Do you remember going to that one?
Mm.
Oh, it was brilliant.
It was a shame though that again, but I suppose people were
Like that though, it's dwindled out as
yeah,
well.
it's not
Do
the
you know?
same.
No.
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 Now it's more commercial in terms of they only have them really outside pubs and things like
Yeah.
that, and you know
Sad too.
we'll have to bring it all back, girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just some random ones here now. The discos in Ballinagar.
Oh, well.
We won't go too much into this now.
Yeah.
We don't want to get anyone in trouble. But I remember, I suppose back then we had no phones or anything, obviously. So I remember we used to wait for the Roscommon Herald to come out
Yeah.
and to see when it was on. That's the only way we'd know whether
Yeah.
Ballinagar was on.
Where did
We
the bus
got the
pick us
bus,
up?
wasn't it?
Oh,
From the
we got the
hall,
bus.
wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah. It'd take you about an hour and a half to get up on the bus. It'd be going
Yeah.
so slow.
And then as we got a bit older then, we used to sneak our little naggins
Yeah.
into the pocket.
Yeah.
Don't be looking at me.
Oh
You,
my
you done it as well.
goodness.
Look,
Shocking.
little Miss Innocent here beside me. She She
I'd
was
never
pulling
do
the
such a
vodka
thing.
Coke on the back of the
Lesley's
Oh my
like, I
God.
never took part in that.
Yeah, she knows Phil will be listening. She said, no, she was innocent.
Mum and Dad, I never did it.
Oh, stop.
And then getting up, sure, it was like a cattle mart with all the buses coming in from all the different
Oh,
places.
stop.
Every
And the
direction they
skirts.
came from.
We used to all wear skirts in.
Oh, stop. And the tearaways, remember
Yeah.
them? And I remember there
And
was
the wedge boots are
Yeah.
like the high platform ones, wasn't
yeah, they were the Spice Girl
it? That,
days.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I remember there was a phase as well where everyone was wearing O'Neill's tracksuit bottoms, the navy ones, and they had the little zips up the sides, and then you'd wear like a string top with it.
I know now this is getting away from that, but do you remember in school, it was only when she mentioned the Spice Girls, do you remember Kimberly Clay?
Oh, yeah.
And she used to have us all out there
Yeah.
to be Spice Girls.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
didn't she?
Oh, we were obsessed with
Oh,
the Spice
yeah.
Girls.
And they
There
were
was-
big back then,
Oh
though.
my
She was
God.
our choreographer.
Yeah, we were learning the
That.
dances
And then we
everything.
went out to her house and everything.
Yeah, we were all, we all knew the dance moves and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought I
Florence was Posh Spice. She still is. Love you, Denise.
Poor Laura.
She was, you were. And Bernie, because Bernie
And you
is
were
Dante.
definitely Scary Spice.
No, I was Ginger.
Oh yeah, she actually was. What Kimberly then? She was scary.
She was
Spice,
scary,
she?
yeah.
Mm.
Because remember, she used to, I could still picture it. You know where that cubby hole is in the school? She used to have us in there.
We'd be learning the
Yeah.
moves. Bernie was Baby Spice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then to get more practice in, she invited us out to the house.
Yeah. Practice for what? Like? Oh, stuff. And I think we actually entered a couple of
I was just going to
busking
say, we did.
competitions.
Yeah. I remember on the crescent.
Oh my
anyways.
God. I would love to have a photo of that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, that was funny back then.
And you'd have the,
I only remembered it when she said about the Spice Girls.
yeah.
That's how I remembered it.
Oh, the Spice Girls were massive back then.
Oh.
And what else then about Balnagar? Remember, did you listen to the Power Hour? And
And you'd record.
requests in.
Yeah, and you'd record with your tape.
Yeah, I remember occasionally then there'd be, oh, there's a request in for the boy girls from such and such. And you'd be like, oh my God. Because that's the only way you could communicate.
Yeah.
then. Mm.
Oh, stop.
Was it Mike Mulvihill was your man's name?
Yeah.
Yeah, God, you've great memory, Flora.
And then we went from Balnagar to Mohill.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Balnagar stopped doing it. Did you ever go to Mohill?
Yeah.
Les isn't giving too much away on that.
Phil's listening.
I think I went once, like, I remember Balnagar, but I don't remember much from Mohill, like,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
just
You
remember Balnagar more
from
so,
Balnagar,
yeah.
Les, yeah. And it was I don't know how much it was to get in. Was it £3 or something? Or
Something
like
three
that.
for the
Yeah.
bus, and it was £6.
I don't think money was the problem back then. We just wanted to go.
Yeah.
No matter
yeah,
how much it was.
Yeah. Great memories.
Yeah.
I
But
remember one
harmless and
time we were
fun.
going, the guards came on the bus.
They'd be
Searching,
searching.
yeah.
Oh, the naggins were well gone at that stage.
But remember, even the town was absolutely jammed before we'd get on the bus. Like everybody would be
Everyone
walking
was
around
going,
town, and you'd meet in town first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of them memories there we won't go into.
Yeah.
But good crack.
Yeah.
And what else then? The Gala Festivals and the Murray's Amusements. Good crack with them as well.
Yeah. Gala Festival, was that the beat on the street? They used to have
They
the
used to
music
have
on the
the-
street. Oh,
yeah.
that was
Oh,
brilliant.
yeah,
Yeah.
they were great
Yeah.
times.
That was brilliant.
Yeah.
I don't know why they ever done away with that. Because that used to bring the crowd out.
Oh my God, I remember the crowds that used to come in. Like people used to come on holidays
Yeah.
for it as well.
Yeah. And they used to have it down at the well one night, down on the bridge another night, and on the Crescent was the finale night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's brilliant.
And there was no, we weren't old enough to be drinking back then.
Oh, no.
But we used to go down. Yeah, not really, Fizz.
Wink, wink.
Not legally anyway. But everyone was in. There was no thing on age. Like the
Yeah.
young people were in, the older people from the pubs. Everyone just used to
Yeah.
mix.
Yeah.
And I remember one year, because I loved Blind Date. Oh my God, I love the programme Blind Date, Cilla Black. And I remember one year they had a blind date set up on the Crescent.
Did you enter?
No, I was watching, Fizz. I was only about 10 now. You calm down. But I remember they had a Donegal fella was actually on the real blind date, and he came down to Boyle then, of course, and made an appearance.
I think I remember that now, actually, that you mention it. He was a red-headed fella.
Yes.
I remember,
Yes. And he was like a character, kind of. He was joking and laughing, but he was your man anyway that was looking for a date. And then they had 3 people doing it. Oh my God, it was brilliant.
Yeah, I remember that. We were more than 10, Florence.
Well, I was a little bit more than 10. I still wasn't looking for a date though. But the amount of organising that went into it, I suppose. Like when you're young, you don't be thinking about that. But looking at it now, it must have taken some organisation.
Yeah. And that's probably why now half of it, because there's not as many pubs either as there was back then.
No,
not?
But it's the insurance fees as well. Like it's so hard now. Rules and regulations. And you can't do this and you can't do that.
Yeah.
So you can't even drink on the street now, can't you?
No. I remember they used to have the glow up things as well. You'd get them around your neck.
Wrists. Oh, I remember that.
But like back then,
put them in the freezer.
Yeah, put them in and they'd last longer. Yeah. But back then, even there was. Remember, people used to come with their stalls, and you could buy all that stuff. Yeah. Like it was a massive setup.
It was like a big festival.
It was.
I think it went on for a week, didn't it?
Oh, it was. Yeah. The weekends then were the biggest, as you said. There was music and oh, I love them times.
Yeah, funny we could go back.
I know.
And obviously then let's talk sweets for a minute. So Christy Wins and Bob Fairs obviously was the Bob Fairs before Christy Wins, I think, was when we were very young. But you used to go in and some of the sweets then you get the jawbreakers. Yeah. And your mum, of course, Les, so she worked in Christy Wins.
Teresa, were in Christy's, yeah.
And it was like an episode of The Unbelievable. Yeah. How much is that? How much is that? Well, how much do you have? Poor Phil and Teresa, their hearts be broken.
Yeah.
Well, how much do you have? Oh, 10p.
Yeah, sure, give me what you have.
Yeah, and you'll be like, can I get 1 of them and 2 of them? No, you don't have enough.
And the aniseed balls. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
The jawbreakers, and then you had the
Frosties.
The Frosties.
The Fat Frogs, the ice creams.
Yeah.
Do you remember them?
Oh, yeah.
The licorice then, and down the back then you'd have the little bits, the strawberries and the eating paper and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
My favourite now was the blackjacks.
Yeah.
And the sour apples.
The sour apples were lovely.
Oh, there's no shops like that though now. You know, with the old-fashioned jars of sweets.
Do you know where you nearly have to go is Westport. There's one in Westport. You can go in and get a quarter of that and things like that. It's a lovely shop, actually.
Well, no, I'm not going to Westport, Florence, just for a jar of sweets.
No, you might just. I brought Mam. It was the opposite when I brought Mam there about a year ago into the sweet shop. Well, she was like a child. I think I'll get that. And I was like, no, Mam, you're not having that. Pick one thing.
Yeah, it's not as cheap as it was years ago.
She was on her sugar overload. I was like, pick one thing now. You're not getting everything.
Oh, stop.
But Phil and Teresa had some patience.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, they were there years, weren't they?
Years, yeah.
And there'd always be great crack with them.
Oh, and the stories they used to tell us, Flora, stop.
Roaring, laughing.
They'd be beating the counter like laughing kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then, of course, the Bookies was next door. So there was always traffic down that side of the town.
Oh, that's right. Now
that's
the
Bookies
where Philippa's used to be.
Yeah. And when you'd walk in, I think when you'd walk in, they had the long things, you know, those beady things, and you had to walk through those.
You're right.
And there was like a slam of the door then behind you. But of course, everyone was smoking inside back then. So it was like.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
No.
Do you remember it?
I do. And all the newspapers, either side, and it was a very small place, but it was always
always packed. So that side of the town there was great activity down there.
But look how many places have closed.
I know. It's sad to see, isn't it?
It's a shame, yeah.
But hopefully it'll come back now, and your girls will get to enjoy. So hopefully some of the things we'll have to get a committee going and get the Gala Festival going again.
Get it back up and running.
And then, oh God, okay, we'll move on to working in the chipper then. We'll skip a few years.
Oh, God.
We had some crack
Oh,
girls.
stuff. We were like a big family, Fleur.
We were, weren't
Yeah.
we? Yeah.
And you know what? It was a place you could work.
That you wanted
could
to go to
leave,
work.
And
Yeah.
then Mary
I-
would always take you back.
Welcome you back.
Yeah.
That's it. Like Mary
'Cause,
was
like,
more
I-
like a mother.
Yeah, she was.
Than a
We
boss,
were her little
like.
chicks.
But that's
So
it,
it's
Yeah.
like perfect name.
Yeah.
If like you could even go and talk to her about anything. Like.
Yeah.
And we're not just saying that now, Flora, because you're married
No,
to
but
her
you
son,
could.
but
You could
like,
go.
you could.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
it was. And then what were the shifts? 12 to 5,
Yeah.
5 to 10, 10 to close. And we'd always try and get the 5 to 10 together, wouldn't we?
Of course
yeah.
you would, yeah.
Yeah.
Les can only do 5 to 10.
And we swap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone do 12 to 5 for me and I'll do 5 to 10
And
for you.
I don't think there was any work ever done with me and Liz.
I'm sorry, I done the work.
No, you didn't.
I worked. I'm sorry now.
Yeah, you worked eating, did you?
No, what were you doing? What were you doing?
Oh, stop.
Oh, it was great crack though.
I loved working there. to be
Yeah.
honest. Now,
Yeah.
there's some things you could say and some things we won't say, but
Yeah.
The stuff we seen.
Yeah.
yeah.
And even the customers coming in back then, people
Yeah.
had more patience
Yeah.
and things like that, you know.
Yeah.
You
But
had the crack with the customers.
you had the crack
like.
with the
Oh,
customers.
yeah. Do you remember we used to leave at like 6 a.m, just after Cleo, they've all come out with Cleo's?
And the birds would be singing, but we used to
Chirping.
love it, like.
Yeah. You didn't mind, like, do you know?
And you were exactly to go out and remember
Clean the
Clean the-
streets
clean
and yeah.
the rubbish, and you'd be like, I'll go out and do it tonight. I'll go out and do it tonight, because you'd be mad to get a nose about who's lying around and who's left in town.
Oh, stop.
And then maybe there'd be some stragglers outside then, and sure, when we were
Looking
going
for
home,
a chicken.
Mary would be bringing us home, and they'd be like, any chance of a lift?
Yeah.
And we'd be like, no, we'd be delighted to be getting
Yeah.
home.
And
Oh yeah,
Mary
any
would say,
chicken.
"Oh, cook whatever you want there now, girls."
Yeah.
Sure, we nearly used to put on
But sure, I
everything.
remember some nights we'd finish at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock,
Mm.
say, even during the weeks. There was 2 people on the late shifts back then even, and she'd be there till 4 o'clock chatting.
Yeah.
And we'd have
Yeah.
a snack
All
box
of us
gone.
upstairs chatting away,
Yeah.
like.
And we used to all pull the piss out of each other. Do you
Yeah.
remember the night you rang me?
What?
I can still remember it.
What?
And you said, Denise, you need to come back into the chipper. It was around Halloween because
What did I do?
You rang me and you said, you must have been on with this one because it'll only take you. Denise, you need to come back into the chipper. You're after leave. I forget what I said. Did I leave something on and burn something or something? But I needed to come back anyway. So I was like, for God's sake. So back in. And there you were with the big old woman's mask on. Do you remember that?
I remember that.
I nearly
But the ball one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I nearly lost me life.
Oh, yeah. I think he went into Launches
We
with that on
did.
as well, and everyone was terrified.
It was an old man's mask, and I remember I put on a long black coat.
It was so realistic.
and I was running after you.
yeah.
And do you remember we went down to the bookies then and knocked on the door? And I think Mary Flynn was in there,
Yeah,
and you knocked
it
on the
was.
window, and poor Mary, terrified at the
I think
door.
you did that. Like,
It
No, I
wasn't
don't-
me. I
was it
think
me?
it was you.
It was
yeah,
me.
Was it
yeah,
you?
yeah.
we
Oh,
had
it was
some
so
crack
funny.
with that. And poor old Patricia McNamara then.
Oh, yeah. She
Yeah.
was part of the family
Oh,
too,
she
wasn't she,
was.
in there?
She kept us company when there was
She
no
did.
one there.
Yeah.
She really
As
was.
much as we were keeping her company, she
Yeah,
was keeping us
she was.
company as well.
Yeah.
I remember, she was a stickler for time as well. I remember one time, you'd be working at 12 o'clock and Patricia, bless her, she'd have it down, she'd have the shifts down
Down.
of
Oh,
who's
yeah.
working what and,
Yeah.
And of course I was 2 or 3 minutes late like I always was. Next thing, knock on the door. Opened the door, there was Patricia. Florence, you're meant to be in since 12. And I says, Patricia, I'm just on the way out the door now.
God love her.
The
She
poor
was
old
making
devil.
sure you wouldn't get in trouble.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, stop.
Yeah. Good old memories
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
loved it in there.
too.
I
Yeah.
loved it. So many memories.
Would you go back? Would you go back?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in a
Yeah.
heartbeat,
Yeah.
definitely.
Mary does actually say, I think she met you in Centra one day, Les, and she was like, I met Lesley, and Lesley says, if the chipper ever opens again,
Yeah.
she'll be back.
Yeah.
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 Sure, we were there from when we were young.
Mm,
Like, I remember
You got me
starting
the
there.
job there actually with Mary when I was 16.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we were really young when we started there.
mm.
And you know what? Like, whether you were 16, 17, she gave you a job.
Yeah.
Whether it be out in the back doing the ketchup, filling the ketchup bottles or whatever, you know, or doing the spuds or whatever. She always found something for you to do.
Well, she was responsible for so many people getting their first job, because back then, you know, there was few places that would accept.
Exactly.
That was my first job.
Yes. Oh, mine. Yeah. I remember I was 14 when I started. Yeah.
Imagine.
And she was great then, because she had a few pound then to go and
But
go
that's
to
it,
disco.
like, you know, you had
You
your
didn't
own...
have to be
And
relying
if
on
the
anyone.
disc was on and you were waiting for your wage, oh Mary,
Yeah.
any
And
chance
she
of
would
an advance
always,
on the
like,
wages,
she
and she
always
would.
like, you
Yeah.
know, she'd...
Yeah, she was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then, as you said as well, we all got on so well.
Yeah.
So it was like just, you know, everything worked out.
Yeah.
The great old days.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then old movies, girls. Do you remember any of the old movies? I remember like the Sandlot Kids. Do you remember that
No.
one? Stand By Me?
Yeah.
Oh, Stand
Yeah.
By Me, yeah.
Annie. I used to
Annie.
watch that. about
I used to
lunchtime.
love
Matilda.
Saturday nights. We'd
Yeah.
go to your house for a movie every Saturday night.
Did you? Oh.
Yeah. Do you remember you'd go down and get a video every
Oh,
Saturday night
yeah.
and we'd be up in your house watching the video?
Go
Do-
to McDonald's.
Go to McDonald's,
Yeah.
and then Extravision at the time. Then when McDonald's was gone. Do you remember the night we stayed in your house? Me and you, and we wanted to go into town for some.
And we snuck out the
We
window.
snuck out
Mum,
the
I'm
back
sorry.
window.
Not the top window.
No,
No,
the bottom
the
window.
back-
We stayed
yeah,
in
the
Jared's
room.
old room, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Stop.
Why did you have to say that?
Because they're memories, like
We
you
were
know.
starving with the hunger.
Yeah.
Not that Mum didn't feed us, like,
But
but
it was so late that she wouldn't have let us go into town. So
Yeah.
we snuck out the window. I think we got back without her noticing.
And where did she go? Into the shop, was
Into
it?
the
town.
chipper, wasn't it?
Yeah, into Tripper, into town.
Mhm.
Oh, stop. And do you remember then we were out Sunday? Everyone wanted to get a suntan. Do you remember that?
Mm.
And do you remember, I remember being in your back garden and I put a fried egg
Denise, you did
and
not.
baby oil
Oh.
and I burnt to crisp.
And her
Stop.
red as it is now.
Yeah.
Oh my
Sure,
God.
I know well I was never going to get a tan. Like. Sure, I remember she came on holidays with us, right? Remember to Lanzarote?
And the baby oil.
No, we didn't use baby oil. Me and you went with Nicola.
Oh, we put no sun cream on.
Oh, as soon as we got there, Flor.
You got scalded.
Sure, we thought we were still in Ireland, like with the sun.
And we were out there, I'd say, for about 3 hours. And we came back in and I said, sure, we never got a colour at all.
We couldn't
Oh, sure, we
walk.
were walking like John Wayne the next day.
Couldn't
We
walk.
couldn't.
Oh, girls,
Yeah.
you got scalded.
Yeah, and Nicola brought us for babysitting, huh? Some babysitters. She was looking after us.
Don't put that in.
Oh,
No,
stop.
I'm just saying.
No, it was good crack.
Yeah.
Everyone listen, wear your sun cream.
Yeah. Factor 50.
And where'd you go today? Spain, was it?
Lanzarote, yeah.
Mm,
Oh, it was brilliant.
the two babysitters.
Oh, yeah.
Some babysitters, huh?
Yeah.
We can't look after ourselves.
And then to follow on from the films, the programmes on a Saturday night. Do you remember? I remember you had Baywatch first at about
Yeah.
6 o'clock. Then you had Gladiators.
Yeah,
oh, I used
I
to
watched
love the
that.
Gladiators.
Oh, loved
yeah.
it. And then you had Blind Date after that.
Yeah, I remember them.
Mm,
And then on a Sunday, then it was school around the corner,
yeah.
Glenroe and bed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as Glenroe was over, it was up the stairs.
Yeah. You wouldn't even get to stay up for the 9 o'clock headlines. You'd be
no.
like, that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah. And if you didn't have the homework done by then, you were.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because we still got homework at the weekends, didn't we?
I can't remember, Flor.
I think we
can't
did.
remember.
Not
It
like
could have
today.
now.
Yeah.
No, sure, they don't get it now on a Friday, don't they? not?
No.
And I remember in McDonald's, you know, when you'd get the videos, you had to rewind them back and all of that
Yeah.
before you gave them back.
Yeah.
That was
Them from
before the
the
days of
start.
DVDs.
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
We had a good few videos though. I remember, I don't know, did we tape them from the telly or something? You had to.
Oh, you could tape over things, wasn't it? Yeah.
and we'd put the stickers on then of what was
Oh, what
on
it
it.
was
Yeah.
called.
Yeah. Sure, it was magical even renting a video back
Oh,
then.
yeah.
Yeah. And then
You
if
know.
you didn't bring it back, you were fined.
fined.
weren't you?
It was in the orange case, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The orange and
And it
black.
would go higher and higher and
Yeah.
higher. And then it got to a stage where we're like, sure, I may as well keep it now.
Yeah. I'd say that's why it closed down. All the videos were gone.
Yeah. I remember when a new one came out, they might only have 2 copies
Yeah.
of it or something.
Yeah.
And they'd have the sticker on it or something saying on loan or
Yeah.
something. And then you'd be like, oh crap, we missed
Yeah,
it. You'd have
yeah.
to be down early.
Yeah. And then you had Extravision. It didn't last long, didn't it? No.
No, but Extravision was magic too in its time because they had such a variety of places or DVDs to rent. Yeah. Remember going down on a Friday night like that when you'd finish in the Chipper at 10 o'clock because they opened, I think, till 10:30 or 11, didn't they?
Yeah, I think at the weekend, Friday they opened till late and Saturday I think was late. Every other night it closed early.
It's hard to believe now considering the way things are with like streaming and Netflix and all of that. But back then, that's all we had.
Yeah.
And I think that's it, girls. Is there anything else? That's all on my list anyway from my old memories. Is there anything else you can remember that you'd like to talk about?
No, I don't think so.
No, I think you've covered all, Fleur.
Anything you want to dive into, no?
No.
You have enough said, Les. But it's great now because your girls are friends, aren't they?
Yeah. Now Sasha's getting that little bit older. Like Kendra's in third class, Sasha's in sixth.
Yeah.
So they're going.
But it's nice that they are friends like that. It's same as us, like grown ups. Lovely to see, like, you know.
And they're still close enough in age that they can be. I think there's a gap, you see, no more than, say, my nieces, Kayla and Megan.
Yeah.
There was a time where they were very close, and then there was a short period where they were into different things, and like Kayla was seen as so much younger, and Megan so much older.
Yeah.
But then when they get to a certain age again,
I think they click
they'll
back
click
up
back in
again.
because they'll be all into the same things again.
Yeah.
Sure, look at Denise, she's 40 and I'm only not.
And you're still the best.
And we're still besties.
I don't think we've ever had an argument.
Oh, stop.
No, I don't think we ever had.
No, even when you burnt your hand, like, we're still like glue.
Yeah.
Sure, we live together, work together.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Gas
Like, never
girls, yeah.
So
you live together, work together is right. And because obviously you would have been friends from since you were toddlers nearly.
I'd say you were probably about 6. And I'd say I was about
even younger because I remember going to Granny Campbell's.
Oh yeah.
Do you know, picking the rhubarb down there, like, and visiting Granny. Her granny and my granny would have been really good friends.
Oh,
isn't it mad?
No, it's crazy, yeah.
And where did your granny live then, Les?
In where Mum and Dad live now. Yeah.
So they were great
So
friends.
Granny Campbell is where Tracy is now. So a few doors down.
And we used to always go in and say,
and we'd always,
remember they used to give us the seaweed, as I do call it, the dilsk. Do you remember that?
I can't remember that. I remember the rhubarb, her growing the rhubarb out in the garden.
Yeah. No, the dilsk. It was like seaweed. I call it seaweed.
I have no memory of that, but I remember people were talking about it recently there on the Facebook group, and they were saying your man used to sell it down at the bridge, and people ran about it as well.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, funny enough, I hadn't seen it in years, and then my granny had it the other day in the walker.
Oh,
and
right.
the smell of it. Oh,
What? And you just you cook it like?
No, you eat it.
Eat it raw,
Yeah, pure salty. It's like
What'd it be
seaweed.
like?
That's why I call it seaweed.
What was the stuff we used to get down the lawn and eat? Cookie Sally or something, wasn't that what it's
remember
called?
the leaves?
Yeah.
Remember the leaves? Remember you could eat them and they were
Really
soury kind
sour.
of.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot
Maybe
about
we weren't
them.
meant to be eating them. But we ate them.
Could have been that.
No wonder we had cramps.
Oh, stop.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah.
And we'd be stung by the nettles then, rubbing the dock leaves on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you were lucky then, there'd be a few blueberries or raspberries. And
That's
you'd
right.
they weren't even properly grown, but
No.
you'd still be
Still,
picking them and eating them.
Those were the days.
Remember Roscoe then had an
You
apple
took
tree.
the words out my mouth.
The apple tree, that's right.
Yeah.
Will you give us an apple, Roscoe? Oh, wait now, let's see Stranny ripen. He dare trying to pull them off the
I
drink.
know. And us waiting, and we'd eat as many as we got of them.
And they
the
were
ones
pure,
then out
sweet.
Felton, where was that? The orchard out there.
At Fungies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuart,
No,
was
it was past
that Stuart's?
Fungies.
No.
Before you used to have to cross the bridge out there.
Was it?
I remember it was a
bridge.
good bit out.
Yeah,
Was
and
it
there was
Stuart's
an orchard. Yes, I think you're right.
Was it?
That was a good way out though.
Yeah.
You'd go there if you couldn't get any off Roscoe.
Yeah.
Roscoe.
Oh, stop.
Yeah. Well, girls, thank you so much for your
Thank you,
time.
Flora,
Thanks,
for having
Flora.
us now.
Yeah.
It
We've
was
had
nice
some
to
laugh.
chat.
We have, and it's great to see friends so many years later and many years to come. As people were saying, I was telling some of the Megan and that you were coming on, they were like, them two should have their own programme.
You never know, Flora.
Maybe this will be the start of it.
Well,
then.
that's it, Flora.
Yeah. So thanks a million, girls.
All right,
Thank you,
Flora.
Flora.
Thank you.